Hello and welcome to episode 404 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now joining me on today's episode is a very special guest. When I was growing up, I used to love saving up my pocket money and getting Now That's What I Call Music. And when I came across Now That's What I Call Music volume 28, I fell in love, and I'm not going to be like trying to be cool or pretend it's not happened. I admit it, at school when I was about 12, school discos were unbelievable. Ace of Base, as soon as that came on, Don't Turn Around, All That She Wants, all those classics, I was blown away. So I'm proud to say that today I'm joined by the one and only Jenny Berggren from Ace of Base. We get to sit down and talk about the music of the band, the career she's had as a solo artist, the documentary that's coming out all about their life, the ups and downs of being in the music industry, and so much more. And that interview will be coming up in literally just a couple of minutes' time. But before we get to that interview, let's touch base and talk about the last one. It came out only 24 hours ago, but it was unbelievable, and I'm so grateful for everyone that tuned in. I was joined by Henry Cole. What I want to say now is that Henry took the time to retweet this and put it on Instagram, and I've seen so many new followers, so many new listeners, and I just want to say a massive thank you and welcome to each and every one of you, and I hope you stick around for the journey ahead. Now, just before I get to the Ace of Base interview, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of Mark and Me, Vice Press. It's coming up to Christmas, and if you don't know what to get someone, go and treat them to a collectible poster. They've got some incredible prints, and if you go on vicepress.com and use the code MarkandMe10, you will get 10% off your first order. So go and check them out. I promise you will not be disappointed, and I appreciate those guys very much. But let's get back to today, because I wish I could get a time machine and go and tell 12-year-old Mark that today you're going to be speaking to Ace of Base. So here is me and Jenny Berggren talking all things music. Hi Jenny, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How's it going so far today?
I think it's going quite fine. My English is still on, so yeah.
You sound great. What I do with all guests that come on the podcast is I always like to take it back to the very start, when you're a child. And I'd love to know, when you were growing up, that first album that maybe you bought with your pocket money or somebody gave you that made you fall in love with music. Let's have a real trip down memory lane.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one. I fell in love with music when I listened to Barbara Streisand.
Amazing.
We just stop there. I mean, wow. Um, and I was like, can you do this? Because in my life, it'd been a bit Elvis. My brother was into uh, all those surf bands that he was listening to and the surf wave that came along in the early 80s. I was so young. And then I also heard the first single I bought was Nicole. It was that we have here, the Eurovision Song Contest. She was a winner of that, and she was sitting blonde haired with a sparkling dress with a guitar and singing with just on a stool. And I was like, you do that? Yeah, so and I was all the tape recorder girl. I was tape recording everything from radio, and I sometimes I got like Radio Berlin and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, they got better music there than they have in Sweden. So stuff. I didn't get anything from England though. That would have been that'd be the day.
That would
But
be a luxury, yeah. But that's some amazing foundations, especially Barbra Streisand. And what about live music? So living in Sweden and growing up, can you remember the kind of first concert or gig you went to? Or were you quite young when you experienced live music for the first time?
we had, I mean, we were a little live. We were a bit the Von Trapp family. We were doing music in our home.
Yeah.
We were playing and singing and doing that kind of stuff. for every big event that we had when it was someone's birthday, that I was singing and dancing, not dancing, but singing and playing together. And that is what we did. Um, so we were growing up with music that way, and my parents were singing. So my first concert must have been one of the church things that they made, and I had to sit still and listen to Mozart's Requiem. And I mean, that's my first experience. I was sitting still for 4 hours, like, I want to listen to this. I have to listen, but I can listen to this. And I grew myself to the chair, and I just did like my grandmother. She was sitting still. She was like one of those she was an organist. What do you call it? She was one of those first ladies in Sweden that was educated. She was with Birgit Nilsson and the big names in opera. She was friends with them, and I knew that if I behave like she does, it's okay. And she took a little pastille with mint every 20 minutes, and I got one too. So that was that was great. That's my first concert.
That's a hell of a good one. And I wondered what it was that sparked inside you, or what it was that triggered that made you think, I want to sing, I want to be a group, I want to make a living, I want to go out there and not do a normal job, I want to be a performer.
Nothing. I was a dancer.
Yeah,
I sang all the time, but I knew that because my parents wanted to have me going down the academic line because they thought the potential for the persons we were that we were going to grow slowly into something like they did. And I mean, they were both my mother was a high school teacher that became a university lecturer, and then she started to translate and write songs. So that was her progress, and my father was a doctor. So, and he had his mother who was this big musician, and we just realized that we will never go that path. We just loved doing music. My brother loved doing music a lot. I was in school when we got our first deal. So I was just focusing on that. Um, so for me, it was never a choice. I just knew that it would never happen. I knew how difficult it was, and I was I was good at dancing. That was my thing. And I already at 16, I changed that line from going dancing every day. I changed it to going to school and doing that properly and getting good grades because I knew it wouldn't happen. And what happened? That was
well,
like it happened anyway because I was singing together with my brother and my sister since I was 14.
yeah.
That was what we did that all the time in family. So this thing happened here as well. It was yeah, just
What
music.
what was it like then trying to tell your parents that you were going to go off and do this, knowing that they were from an academical background that probably wanted you to have a real proper job at that time. You know, if they're a doctor, they might be like, we want you to do the same. We want you to work at university. We want you to go and do a master's. We want you to go as far as you can. And you're trying to explain that you want to do something else. You want to sing. You want to dance. You want to go out there and do something completely against probably what they want to believe in.
Well, the thing is that they took a loan from the house, so my brother could quit his school, his academic school, because
Yeah.
he was into music.
Wow.
Wanted him to be quite sure that they, as parents, had done everything they could. They gave him our car so we can go around, and we bought another car, an ugly one. Because we were in a rich family, wasn't that? But he got the main car, and they didn't want him to have big loans because he believed in something. They wanted to have him out. So they thought that maybe they would push him out of the idea of being a musician just by supporting whatever dream he had or we had. So if they can support it fully, then maybe it happens. It will not happen without their help. And if they support it fully, it might happen. And then they didn't know, they thought it wouldn't happen, of course, because they also read the magazines. They
Yeah.
also that is not a chance it will happen, but it did. And yeah, so they probably got the mortgage back and after some time. And we made a success. And in one way, it was their choice of believing in us. They were really believing in us. And if not, they at least had done what they could as parents to support the dream.
I mean, at least they could have said if it didn't work, at least we did everything we could to try and make it work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And same when I raise my kids now, I need to give them the opportunity to choose between things as long as I can.
Yeah.
And so in, the hard fall when it doesn't work out, just, be around them. That is, a wise woman told me you can't protect your children from the reality. You can protect your children in their reality.
That's
Oh,
amazing advice, to be fair.
yeah.
So,
It's a good one. You
so
can
if
take
we're
it.
getting if we're getting a time machine now and we go back, 30 years to the release of Happy Nation, if I'd said to you just before it came out, look, this is going to become one of the biggest selling debut albums of all time, 25 million copies, surely whatever happens, even with hindsight and looking back, you were never, ever going to be ready for the journey ahead of you. You could never have dreamed your wildest dreams that it blew up like that, because it's a once in a lifetime, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, but it's the God's fantastic banana shell, I tell. Well, um, I mean, he must have wanted something out of this because he didn't really pick us because we were the greatest or the best. I mean, we had talent, yes. All of a sudden there was luck and timing, and you cannot really control that.
No.
So it was really out of our hands. But on the contrary, we never stopped dreaming big. And I think that it was a clash of Jonas and Ulf really working hard on getting these deals. And for me, it was like, okay, so I have to get my grades and you do the deals because I'm in school. I was the only one in school at there because I'm 2 years younger than everybody else. So I was in school 2 years when they were out hunting and, fixing and doing things. And I was there like if I got like I remember I won a lottery on something that my grandfather had saved from me. And I said, so here's my money, take it. Yeah, we just invested in the studio. Everything went into the studio, as we called it. So we had this studio where we were working and doing our songs. And me and Jonas and Linn, we sang together since I was 14. So
Yeah.
yes, we had different boys in the band and they were coming and going. And Ulf was one of them that came with a lot of energy and that worked out. That's fine. But for me, music is with my siblings. It's normal.
So, what was it like? Was it too much to kind of process? Was your journey and the explosion on the music scene and the success with the singles and the number ones, was it all too much too soon? Because surely you were unable to even take a step back and actually think, look what the hell is happening. This is like pinch me now. This is a dream. Like this can't feel real.
Well, the thing is that I've been following lists, tracking what
Yeah.
top been voting, and I've been doing this as an active fan for people in all my life. I'm the tape recorder girl,
Yeah.
Berlin. I mean, I've been doing that all my life and voting and stuff. But here, I decided I mean, it was fun. I looked at it in the beginning and I just followed it. But in the end, there was a specific moment when I decided I won't do this anymore. I won't keep track on things anymore. I reached my level of fun, of
Yeah.
wow things, and I'm too normal for all this. I'm not interested in chasing things. I'm interested in doing music. That's my bottom line. So what I did when somebody told me like at that time, the third biggest market in the world was Germany for records.
Yeah.
And we entered number 33rd place when we came into that list. And I told myself, okay, here I stop. Here I stop following because I could chase this to the day I die and never be happy. I have to chase my luck somewhere else. And I did. I never each time I got the opportunity to do interviews, to do radio shows, to do something, that was just a new thing for me. It was like, okay, so let's do this. But I didn't hunt it. I didn't
Yeah.
because it wasn't not the ping thing for me. It didn't ping anymore. And it's not that I got tired of it. I just realized that this was dangerous for me. This was a business that was toxic. People were greedy. People were screaming over each other. And it's like, okay, people are arguing for what? Um, so I didn't want to participate in that. I just, stood outside and said, okay, you scream. I just call me when you're done, and I'll tell you what I want to do, and we do it.
Did everything change when you made that decision, when you made that conscious decision to kind of shut the doors and stop focusing? Because right now, if it was like that, everyone is obsessed with likes on Instagram, everyone's obsessed with followers and numbers, and the whole world right now is obsessed. So, how many people follow you? How many fans have you got? So, the moment you stopped caring and stopped looking, did you just get to take a step back and enjoy life and enjoy the success and enjoy the music, enjoy your family? Was it a complete positive change for you mentally?
That was a huge relief
Yeah.
because all of a sudden I was just doing what I had in front of me, what was presented in front of me. If I had a young child who was having a mother that was totally into this music, I could just meet them and not argue with myself. Oh, you should have been focusing on acting out with that person because that would make give you more fame. I was just like, yeah, this is in front of me right now. This is what I have. This is my now, and I kept it ever since. So I'm so super not interested in you can see my social media. I'm horrible. I'm is good at it. And it's like it's not what I do. I'm not putting myself out there. It's not interesting. What
No.
I see is interesting. I made a song called Lion's Den. It's coming out the 29th of November uh, across the world, and that is the thing I'm about. What I burn is telling people like, okay, that's pretty smashed. I made it in public with my attack with my life as an artist and with the business tearing me apart. But my heart wasn't really changed because I stopped caring. It didn't bring anything to my heart. With having 16 likes or 6,000 likes, it doesn't happen anything with my heart. My heart is the same. It's bouncing in my breast. Still, it doesn't change. That's not the big thing. The big thing is looking at your child and see them looking back with faith and joy and having fun. I mean, so much else values in this world, and I'm unafraid now. I can do this Lion's Den that I've been singing. I'm going to release
Yeah.
because I'm not into likes or things. It could become nothing. Like I released Open and Alive, another song. I've been releasing Keep Quiet, another song, and they absolutely went nowhere, but my fans listen to it. And that is what I want to do. I want to sing to my fans. Um, and they can think like, oh, you look like this in the video. It's like, yeah, I'm 52. So yeah, I'm going on 53. I'm not 20 or 11 anymore. I'm sorry. I'm a grown woman. I mean, I got grown kids.
Yeah.
Uh, and one of my kids is actually putting out his records, and he's all into that, like social media, do. And they made their band is Off Balance, and he made his songs on Spotify, and he's really cool. But he's all into music. But that is what he does. He's doing music. When he sits at home, he plays the piano.
Yeah.
That is what he's doing. I mean, that's music. It has nothing to do with his business. This business is going on here. I'm here.
That's a
So,
really healthy way to be. Out of everyone I speak to, most people are the opposite. They just care about the numbers. They get so kind of obsessed with it that they lose track and they forget why they're doing it anymore because it's all about the pressure of hitting certain targets and milestones and likes and views, and it's so unhealthy. So to hear that you've got a good concept and can take a step back and it's so mentally healthy is quite refreshing, to be honest.
yeah, but I stopped long ago. I started when I was number 33 in Germany when I was like
Yeah.
20 or yeah, so I have good training as well. So I can have a course in that maybe a lecture. No, but I've been smashed. I'm releasing a book called probably gonna be called The Sign in English. And it's a story about my life until I got like kids,
Yeah.
when some kind of a life goal. If you say that, I mean, a life goal can be different things, but for me, it was a goal because I never thought I had kids because I had such a strange life. My spouse was Ace of Base for
Yeah.
such a long. And Ace of Base sort of, the business went down, and we were a bit tired of it. So that was like a joint venture of I don't know. God had a plan, I think. It's like, okay, so let's shut this down. Um, but music is still big, and I love doing like I'm going out. I'm in Atlantic City in New York, close to New York,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go in there tomorrow. I'm going to be on NBC. I'm going to talk to
How
America.
exciting.
And I'm going to do a performance in New Jersey tomorrow, and I'm going to do one here in Atlantic City the day after tomorrow. So I'm doing database music. I'm doing it live. I'm meeting the audience. I'm meeting everybody who had this music, and that is alive and it's fantastic. And I'm having like a great life now because I can choose. I don't have to listen to my sister. I don't have to listen to my brother. I don't have to listen to Ulf. I only have to listen to whatever is possible. And it's quite a lot of things that are achievable. And I'm going to India. I'm going to all around the world.
I'm jealous. It sounds like an incredible journey ahead.
It is. And that is my point is that you have your certain ways of a hardship, but you learn from them.
Yeah.
And some of them are so uncontrollable, and some nights that you have, because that comes across in the documentary that I released now. That is really, really hard. Life is so tough that you don't know if you're gonna last the next day. Because you're sad, or you know, whatever you are, distressed.
Yeah.
But you have to keep through the perfect sources of life. And for me, it's been, I mean, I always been a co-worker. I'm one of those who want to be having people beside me and walk slowly forward, doing the right things. And yeah, I also have a long story with church behind me, and the way that it has interacted. Sometimes they throw me out and sometimes they call me in, but I believe that God has never really thrown me out, and that is the difference. Yeah, I believe in my way.
I love it. It's all positive, and I've got time for one more question today. And what I do on this podcast with all guests that come on, I've nearly done 400 episodes now,
Oh,
is you get to choose the last piece of music that's played. So as we have edited the interview and people get to hear me and you talking, as it finishes, I am putting you on the spot today, but you get to choose any song by anyone in the world that means a lot to you, but it'll be played at the very end. And I wondered, I know it's difficult because I'm putting you under pressure, but what's a song that you really love that means a lot to you that you'd love to be played at the end of today?
when is this going to be broadcasted?
Probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. Is my song out then? Can I choose my own song, Lions, then?
If I'm going to put your own song on it anyway, so just before the interview, I'll put Lines Then on there anyway. So that will have a nice snippet. It'll go to our interview, but you can choose any
I
song by anyone.
I don't have a problem with that. It is beautiful life.
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you so much today for your time. Good luck with the documentary. Good luck with America. Good luck with India. Good luck with all the tour. Good luck with the new music. Good luck to your son with his music. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
I saw the sign, and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign, life is demanding without understanding. I saw the sign, and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign, no one's gonna drag you up to get into the light where you belong. But where do you belong?
So there it is. There's my interview with me and Jenny from Ace of Base. I thought she was absolutely fantastic, really open, really honest, didn't hold back about how the industry is. She's doing so well as a solo artist, but she doesn't really care. She's just enjoying what she's doing. She doesn't look at the numbers. She doesn't worry about the pressures of being in the industry, hitting certain amounts of downloads. She's just enjoying her time. And how refreshing is that to hear in an industry that is so led by likes and retweets and numbers? Yeah, just wonderful. The documentary about her and the rest of the band is out now. I urge you all to go and check it out. And as always, if you're listening to Mark and me right now, while you're on your phone, why not share the episode? All the links are on markandme.com. There's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. They're all there. And if you can just take a minute just to share the episode, I promise you it really makes a difference. You may think it doesn't, but it does. Someone on your feed will probably be like me and remember Ace of Base and want to go back and listen to their music and find out more about them and what they're up to now. If they see the picture or they see the interview, they will click, they'll go and check it out, and before you know it, they're listening to Mark and Me every week. And now that is something that money can't buy, so I really do appreciate everyone that shares the episodes, and please keep that coming. I do also have a Patreon account, the link's on markandme.com. That basically allows me to keep this podcast running, so if you do want to give that extra couple of pounds just a month to say thanks for the podcast, it all goes right back into the making of the podcast and allows me to go out there and record more interviews for you guys at home. And just before I go, I want to give a big shout out to the other sponsor of Mark and Me, Richer Sounds. If you want to listen to Ace and Bass on a brand new stereo, a brand new record deck, some speakers or a Sonos system or some brand new headphones, just think how good if you get yourself some really beautiful headphones, the sign is going to sound. Honestly, treat yourself. But yeah, thanks Richer Sounds. I appreciate you guys so much, and it means the world to me that you sponsor me each and every week. Now, just before I go, I have done an announcement. It's no secret. Over the next 5 days, you're going to get 5 brand new interviews, 1 a day for the next 5 days. Yes, I'm a bit crazy, but I wanted to get as much out there before Christmas for you all to enjoy. I know there's loads of commuting happening right now, so it's really good to have podcasts to listen to on the train and the bus and these long journeys. So hopefully you've got loads coming, and I'm not going to slow down anytime soon. So, thanks again for listening. I hope you've all enjoyed today's episode. Until the next episode, look after yourself, take care, listen to Ace of Base, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
You can do what you wanna, just seize the day. What you're doing tomorrow's gonna come your way. Don't you ever consider giving up? You will find, oh, it's a beautiful life. Oh, oh, it's a beautiful life. Oh, oh, it's a beautiful life. Oh, oh, I just wanna be here beside you.
Stay until the break of dawn.
Take a walk in the park when you feel down. There's so many things there that's gonna lift you up. See the nature in bloom, a laughing child, such a dream. Whoa, it's a beautiful life. Oh, oh, it's a beautiful life. Oh, oh, it's a beautiful life. Oh, oh, I just wanna be here beside you. I just wanna be here beside you.
Stay until the break of dawn.
You're looking for somewhere to belong. You stand